Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Amber from Amber's Books and More, and today I have a book haul of epic proportions. Let's just jump right in and get started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just start first with books that I've received from subscription boxes, so that is including Outgrade and Book of the Month. I went back on my channel, and of course I've been MIA for a while, so the last time I did a haul was in February. It's now October, so I have a lot to get through. But let's start with Outgrade first, and then we'll do Book of the Month, and then we will go on to books I bought online, books I bought in person, books I went to signings for, that kind of thing. So yeah, let's get started with Outgrade books that I received since February. The first book I received from Outgrade was Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston. This is a book that is sci-fi. It is about a world where androids are kind of illegal, and there's a girl that has an android, and now people are out to get her, basically. This does have special sprayed purple edges, which is beautiful, and it is signed, of course, because it's from Outgrade. I have not yet read this one, but it is definitely still on my radar, at least. So the next one that I got from Outgrade is Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. This is kind of a Vegas-y type heisty novel from what I gather. This is also an exclusive cover, as the other one had exclusive cover and exclusive sprayed edges. This one is an exclusive cover, and it is signed because it's an Outgrade. And I also have not yet read this one. The next book I got from Outgrade is Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. This is an exclusive cover, signed. It's Outgrade. This is basically about a female warrior Viking. That's all I know about it. That's all I kind of want to know about it. Seems interesting, but I have not yet read it. The next one I got from Outgrade is From Twinkle with Love by Sendia Manan. This one actually is an exclusive cover and an exclusive dust jacket. So the back is exclusive. It's even the inside here is exclusive, and of course it is signed. And this one actually has one of my favorite pages for signing. It actually has Outgrade down here. I thought that was really pretty. This one I have not yet gotten to. I did start to read it, I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time. But this is about a girl that is into filmmaking, and this kind of told in letters that she sends to like her favorite film star or film director. I think film director, but I haven't read this one yet, but I do plan on getting to this one by the end of the year, hopefully. The next one I got from Outgrade is My Plain Jane by they're called like the Lady Janie. So it's got Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. This is an exclusive cover. It is signed by all three authors, which is really cool. But this one is a retelling of Jane Eyre, but Jane Eyre is like a ghost hunting chick, and I have not yet read it. I have read a little bit of it. I think I got to about 50 pages in, and I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time, and so I DNF'd it for that time, but I'm going to get back to it. I think that this is one that I really would enjoy, but I have not read Jane Eyre, so I have nothing to compare that part of it to. But as far as the writing style, I actually really liked it. Now, I did not read their first book, My Lady Jane, so I might read that one, try to get that one. I don't have it. It's not in this haul, but I will try to get that one of these days and maybe read it before this one. I'm not totally sure. The next one that I got from Outgrade is Grace and Fury, and this one is Tracy Banghart. This was the August book from Outgrade. It is an exclusive cover. It is signed. Honestly, I think this one is about, I'm not 100% sure what this one is about. I just know it has some like royal court stuff, and it's fantasy. That's all I really want to know. But I also have not read this one either. There's a bit of a I haven't been good at getting to my Outgrade books. I do plan to rectify that probably the early of next year and do like maybe a whole month of just like Outgrade TBR, we'll see. So the last book I got was the one I got for September, so if you do not want to be spoiled for what September's book was for Outgrade, you can just skip past a little bit. But it is after it's October, so hopefully everybody has seen what the book is. But it is Mirage, and this is by Somaya Dowd. I cannot say that name no matter how many times I try. I've listened to her say it, but I still can't say it. This is also exclusive cover. It is signed. It's a really pretty cover. I know that this is one that Julie over at Pages of Pens really liked. And if you watched my BFF Picks My TBR, which of course I will leave linked up above, this is one that I'm reading in October. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I do have this one. So I'm going to read this one for that. But I don't even really know what it's about. I think it's about a girl that has to pretend to be the princess or queen or something like that. I don't know, but I'm gonna get to it. So those are all the Outgrade books. So let's now get into the books that I received from Book of the Month. Now, Book of the Month is probably my favorite subscription service. There's no goodies. It's like $14.99 a month, and you get a hardcover. It's mostly adult. Sometimes they'll have a YA, but it's mostly adult fiction. Which adult fiction hardcovers are super, like 25 bucks, like expensive. So it is a good price, and if you want to add on any books, you can add up to 2 for $9.99 each. Great price. And I found some of my favorite books in Book of the Month. If you want to join, I do have a link down below. It is a link that everybody gets that's a member. I don't get anything from it except for a free book credit, and you get an extra free book credit. So if you want to check it out, there's a link down below that you can check it out with. But the first book I got from Book of the Month here is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book actually was for June of 2017, and I didn't get it back then, but after seeing so much hype on it, I decided a couple months ago to go ahead and add it from the previous months into my cart. So I got this for $9.99 because it was an extra book, and this is probably one of my favorite contemporaries. I loved it so much. It's about a film star, Evelyn Hugo, and it kind of just tells her life story and talks about the 7 times that she was married and like what happened there and why they didn't work out or why they did work out. And if you haven't read this, I definitely recommend it. It's very good. The next book I got was in March of 2018, and is Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. This book is absolutely beautiful. It's a little bit thicker than most of the Book of the Month Club books. But it is about a girl whose mother commits suicide, and she believes that her mother has become a bird, so she goes back to where her mother grew up back out in Taiwan to meet her grandmother, and things ensue. It's magical realism. It's beautifully done. I absolutely love it, and I do highly recommend this one as well. The next one is another one that I picked up in March of 2018, and that is Not That I Could Tell by Jessica Strasser. I recently just read this one last month in September. I gave it 3 stars. It was a decent thriller, not the best thriller. It's about a group of girls that live in a neighborhood together, and they have a bonfire one night, and the next morning one of them has gone missing, and they're just trying to find out what happens. This is definitely good if you enjoy, if you're new to thrillers, probably. If you're somebody that reads a lot of thrillers like me, it's just kind of average. But it is definitely worth the read, I believe. Okay, so the next Book of the Month Club pick was April of 2018, and that is The Oracle Years by James Sewell. This is a sci-fi read about a guy who wakes up one morning and knows everything that's going to happen for the next year. That's all I know about it. I have not read this one yet. This is one of the few that I haven't gotten to yet, but I definitely want to, probably in December or so. And I've heard good things about this, and then I've also heard some not so great things about this, so I'm excited to see what I think about it. So the next one is also April 2018, and it is Circe, and it is by Madeline Miller. This is a story of Circe in Greek mythology, and it is kind of her life story. I only gave this one 2 stars. I did not care for it. I think I just read this one in August or September. I think August. And I don't know, it just wasn't great. It was very slow moving, not much happened. It's just so the next one was also April 2018. I picked up like the full amount that I could in April, and I think I actually added another one of April's on in May. But this one is Our Kind of Cruelty, and it is by Arminta Hall. This is weird. So this one is about a guy and a girl that have these weird sex games, and the guy goes to jail or goes away. Something happened, I can't remember now, but he goes away, he comes back, she is now engaged to someone else, but he thinks that it's another one of their sex games. And if you liked You by Carolyn Kepnes, I think that you would like this one. It has a very it has the same premise. It's kind of like a stalkery guy that you almost root for, but you don't actually really know what was true ever. So it was okay. Okay, so the next one is May of 2018, and it was The Perfect Mother by Amy Malloy. This is another one that I have not yet gotten to. I have tried to read this a couple of times and just ended up not being in the mood for it, so I'm hoping to get to this one probably in November, and I'm not even honestly sure what it's about. Okay, the next one is kind of exclusive for Book of the Month. So this is The Kiss Quotient, and this was June 2018. This is the only way that you could get this book in hardcover, and it is through Book of the Month. So this book only comes in paperback normally. This is about a woman who is really into math. Like, she's really good at math. She's like a mathematician for a living. But she's definitely not good in relationships, so she ends up hiring a male escort here, Michael Bond, and to teach her how to be someone's girlfriend, teach her how to have sex. And it's steamy, and it's funny, and it's heart-wrenching, and it's so good, and I definitely recommend it. I give it 5 stars. Totally good. The next Book of the Month Club pick from July of 2018 is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sagar. So Riley Sagar wrote Final Girls, which I got from Book of the Month Club back in, let's see, July of 2017. And this one came out in July of 2018, so a year later. And I really love Final Girls, so I picked this one up. This one is about a girl that wakes up. She goes to a summer camp. She wakes up and all her cabin mates have gone missing and are never found. And now it is years later, and she goes back to the camp to try to figure out what happened to them. And this one was 100 times, like, I loved Final Girls, but this one was even better. 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely love this one. If you are hesitant about picking up Riley Sagar, pick up this one. They don't go together. They're both standalones. You don't have to read them both. But definitely pick up this one because it is really good. Right, so the next Book of the Month Club book that I have is from September 2018, so just last month. And this is Hashtag Fashion Victim by Amina Akhtar. This one is basically like a Dexter meets Single White Female meets The Devil Wears Prada, kind of. So it's about a girl that is in the fashion industry, and she wants this other girl to be her best friend, and she will do whatever it takes. I mean, whatever it takes to make this woman her best friend. And the byline here is really funny. It is Bitches Get Stitches. So it's actually a pretty good thriller. I mean, it's messed up and it's crazy and it's short, and but you can tell that the author works in the fashion industry because it is done really well. So if you like those 3 things and you think a mashup would be cool, definitely check this out. So the last Book of the Month Club book that I picked up for September 2018 is Cross Her Heart by Sarah Pinborough. I picked this up because Sarah Pinborough wrote Behind Her Eyes, which is one that I've hauled before but have not read, but I've heard great things about her. I have not yet gotten to this one, and I honestly don't really know what this one is about, because the reason I know what those other thrillers are about is because I've read them. I don't like to know what thrillers are about when I go into them, which is weird, I know. I like to just be on the seat of my pants wondering what the hell is even happening. Okay, now I'm going to get into some books that I got in person, which was actually not as many as I thought they were going to be. I guess I'm mostly an online shopper, so let's just go. So these next ones I got at Half Price Books here in Dallas. So the first one is Furthermore by Tahara Mafi. This is her middle grade series about a girl that like washes the dead, or no, that's the second book. The first book is about a girl that is black and white in a world of color. It's middle grade. I have not read it yet, but I've heard really great things about these, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. This is definitely seems like it would be a fall read, so I will probably have this on my November TBR. So the next one is actually one that I didn't think that I was ever going to actually buy, but they had it on sale at Half Price Books, and I thought, why not? It is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. This is like a novella, almost novel, that takes place in between the Court of Thorns and Roses series and then the next series that's coming out, the next trilogy. But I haven't read it yet. I just got this like 2 days ago, and yeah, we'll see. The next one I purchased because I've recently read Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessl, and I really liked her writing style, so I decided to go ahead and get Night Film by Marisha Pessl. This was on sale. It was only $6 for this huge paperback, so I just picked it up while I was at Half Price Books. I don't really even know what this is about, but so many people have talked about it, so I for sure want to get to this one soon, because it feels, I don't know, it seems like maybe it would be a fall read. If you read this, let me know if you think that this is a good November read, or maybe December, or wait till next year. I don't know. I'll get to this one soon, I promise. So the next one I picked up at Half Price Books was another Ellen Hopkins. I've been trying to collect Ellen Hopkins. I do enjoy her work. This one was only $6, and it's Tilt. I'm not really sure what this one is about, but it is told in prose. So the next one, I really don't know what it's about. I know it's sci-fi, but I picked this up at Half Price Books. It is Lifelike by Jay Kristoff. I enjoy Jay Kristoff's writing. I enjoy sci-fi. I haven't read it yet, of course, but I will soon. I suck at videos. Alright, the last one that I picked up at Half Price Books is The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I've never read Ruth Ware, but so many people either love her books or they don't like them very much, and they are more of like a thriller horror kind of genre, which I usually enjoy. Once again, I don't really know what this is about, but it doesn't even have a synopsis on the back, but according to the cover, I would say that it's a woman on like a boat or a yacht, and it goes under, it rains, something, I don't know, we'll see. So I went to a signing a few months ago that had a couple different people. They were there to promote this nonfiction anthology called Hope Nation. So the two that I went to kind of go see was Angie Thomas and Julie Murphy, that were both in this. And I did buy this at the signing while I was there, and I did get everybody that was there. Like, there's 4 different authors that signed it. I have not read this yet, but I do eventually want to get to it. I just think that I have to be in a certain place in my brain, because this is something that I think is going to bring a lot of joy and a lot of tears. So I definitely want to get to this one eventually. But while I was there, I went ahead and picked up Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy and had her sign this one as well. This one is about a girl that has identified as lesbian her whole life, that she, like, not her whole life, but since she can remember, she's liked girls. But then an old friend moves back into town. He's a boy, and she starts to have feelings for him, and she doesn't know what that means. Does it mean she's bisexual? Is it just a one-time thing? But it was really beautifully written, and I really enjoyed it a lot. And this one is also signed by Julie as well. Then I also picked up their Dumpling by Julie Murphy and had her sign it. I have not read this one yet. I just know that it has a fat main character, and a movie is coming out soon with Dolly Parton doing the music, and so I'm really excited to read this, but I'm gonna wait probably until like right before the movie comes out to read it and then go watch the movie. So I recently just went to a signing at my library like a week or so ago, and I went because Tessa Gratton was there, and she is one of Julie from Pages and Pens' newest favorite authors, and so I went ahead and picked up Strange Grace by her, which I'm currently in the middle of. I'm on page 117 of this right now, enjoying it immensely. She signed this for me, and I got a book for Julie as well, and I sent that out to her. But this is kind of hard to explain. It's about this town that has made a deal with the devil, and now things are going wrong, and every 7 years they have a slaughter moon, and they have to send somebody in to fight the devil to keep up the bargain, and they're trying to figure out what's gone wrong. So far it's really good. So yeah. And of course she was there with her wife, Natalie C. Parker, and so I went ahead and picked up her newest book, Seafire, and had her sign it. This is how she described it, was kind of like a Mad Max Fury Road in the sea with female pirates, so that sounds exciting. I mean, I'm gonna definitely get to this one soon. Okay, so this next little stack of books that I have are books that I picked up when I went to the North Texas Teen Book Festival. I think it was back in April, if I'm not mistaken. Either April or May, somewhere in that range. But they had a lot of signed books for sale there, and they also had a lot of authors signing there. So if you live anywhere near the Dallas-Fort Worth area, definitely check that out. It happens every year, and it was a lot of fun. So the first one I got was We Are Okay by Nina LaCour. This is a signed copy, and then also I went through her line and had her personalize it for me. Okay, so the next one I picked up at North Texas Teen Book Festival was We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. It was a signed copy that was for sale. Unfortunately, his line was way too long. I wasn't able to get him to personalize it for me, but it is still signed. So this is a sci-fi read about a boy who's coming to age as a gay boy, I believe. I'm not totally sure. I know that it has some sci-fi elements. This is one Dylan the Reader 5's favorite books, and so I decided to go ahead and check it out. The next one I picked up, I swear to God, is just because of the cover. It's a signed copy. It's A Lie in the Dark by Melinda Lowe. I just loved this cover, and I saw it around, so I picked it up. And this is another one that I went through her line and got her to personalize it, and she gave me this really pretty bookmark, and I don't know what this is about, but gonna read it. The next one I picked up because I had recently at the time read The Cruel Prince, so I picked up Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. Once again, her line was way too long. I could not get in it in time to get this personalized, but it is a signed copy that they had for sale. This is, I know it's just in her Fae world. It's not the same characters as The Cruel Prince, but there are characters, like background characters in The Cruel Prince, that make an appearance there that are in this book. I haven't read it yet, but I do want to get to this before The Wicked King comes out, and I have so much to read. I don't even know what I'm doing with my life. The next book I picked up at North Texas Teen Book Fest is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. This one is a story about a girl that is into slam poetry, and it is told in poetry format. It's a fiction story, and I actually did get to meet Elizabeth, and she signed with the prettiest like silver pen. It's so pretty. She was so beautiful and so sweet, and I absolutely loved talking to her. I got to actually, because I got to her line like before a lot of people got into it, so I got to have like a little bit of a conversation with her, mostly because she was right next to Angie Thomas, and Angie Thomas's line was like out the door, and so I felt bad, and I like sat there and I had a conversation. She was so sweet though, and her line did pick up later, of course, but I loved that book, absolutely loved it. I believe I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. So the next book I picked up was because I had We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, and I absolutely loved it. So when I saw that they had her newest book, Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart, I went ahead and picked it up. And even though her line was a little long, it's the reason I couldn't get into the other longer line is because I spent most of my time in her line, so that I could get it. This one was not sold signed, but I did get it signed and personalized by her, and this one was another one that I really liked. It's a thriller told backwards about a girl that lies about who she is, and it's actually kind of creepy and weird, and I don't know, I liked it. Not really creepy, just more weird, I guess. So that's all the books that I picked up physically at signings or whatnot, and so now I have a huge long list of books that I bought online. I will gather those up, and then we'll be right back with those. This is going to be the longest freaking video, I'm sorry. Okay, so it's been a little bit of time. I had to change because there were so many that they basically are taking up like all of this, so like don't look over here because it's spoilers. And yeah, so let's just keep going. So now the rest of these books are books that I bought online, either through Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Book Depository or Book Outlet or anything like that. I'm not really, unless it's like a special edition, like I have one Barnes & Noble special edition in here. I'm not going to talk about where I got it from. I'm just going to try to go through these because I have like another, I don't even want to talk about it. Let's just go. There's just too many to go. I'm going to go ahead and do this one because it is the one I'm currently reading. And so I just have the Dutch jacket, but it is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I did not know anything about this one going in. I'm currently reading it for, I'm buddy reading it with Julie over at Pages and Pens and Mel to the Any. I'll leave anybody I talk about link down below. But this is really good so far. It's kind of about this, these two friends, and they're bad people. They're not great people. It's like a kind of a thing about heroes versus villains, and it's really good so far. Now I'm going to do a stack of graphic novels that I've picked up recently because they're really heavy. So I haven't read, there's one in here that I haven't read, and it is Postal Volume 1. I had a friend at work recommend this to me, and so I decided to go ahead and pick it up and see. I don't know what it's about a guy going postal, you know. Yeah, so. And then I was at the Half Price Books, and they had a couple of sagas that I picked up. So I picked up Saga Volume 1, which I had read through Hoopla, and Saga Volume 2 that I had read through Hoopla. Now when I find the rest of them at a decent price, I will pick those up. But I did pre-order and just recently get Saga Volume 9, which is the most recent, just came out this week, October the 2nd. I also got the most recent I Hate Fairyland, which is Volume 4, Sadly Never After, which it turns out is the last volume of the series, which is a bit heartbreaking. And then I also picked up the 4 volumes that are available for Paper Girls. That's 4, that's 3, that's 2, and that's 1. And I really love this series, and I'm glad that now I have them. Easy ones out of the way. Let's just go. Alright, so the first one I have here is Spellbook of the Lost and Found by Myra Foley Doyle. This one is basically these witches cast a spell in small town Ireland, and things suddenly start to go missing, and then they find this spellbook of the Lost and Found, and there's like multiple timelines, and it's really, really good. The next one I have here is the final sequel, The Towering Sky, which is the final book of the 1000th Floor trilogy. This just kind of wraps up all of the storylines. This is kind of a futuristic futuristic Gossip Girl, and this is the final one, and I'm definitely excited to see what Catherine Mickey does next. The next one is City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. This is her middle grade debut. I think it was absolutely adorable. I read it last month. I loved it. It's one of those middle grades that you can enjoy just at any age, and I definitely recommend picking this one up. I think I gave this 5 stars. The next one is the one that is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, and it is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This recently came out. Vengeful. This is Vengeful. I'm reading Vicious, and then I can get to Vengeful, which is the sequel to that. I believe it follows different characters in the same world. I'm not totally sure. We will find out. The next one I have is Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. I honestly just love this cover, and even though I haven't heard a lot of the best things about this, I want to give it a try just because I love this cover. I don't even honestly really know what it's about. The next one I have is This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills. This is one that I have been wanting to get to ever since Julie over at Pages and Pens has talked about it. So the next one is Record of a Spaceborne Few by Becky Chambers. This is the next book in kind of the Long Way to a Small Angry Planet like companion series. I haven't read this one yet, but I love Becky Chambers, so I know that I'm going to enjoy it. So the next one is Only Human by Sylvain Neuvel. This is the final book in the Sleeping Giants trilogy. I have already read this. I read this as soon as I got it in the mail because I had pre-ordered it. This one is the ending of that story. The original story is about these killer huge robots that show up everywhere, and yeah, it's a great series. It's told in interview format. It's adult sci-fi. It's really, really cool. Okay, the next one I have is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. In my my September wrap-up, I call this Josh and Hazel's Guide to Christina Lauren. It's Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. This is about 2 friends that decide to start setting each other up on blind dates. And of course, it's a contemporary love story, so it doesn't go right. But this one was definitely really good to get this 5 stars. The next one I got online at Book Depository, and it is the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets 20th Anniversary Edition, Special Edition Ravenclaw. I have the hardcover for this also in Philosopher's Stone that I got last year. And I'm definitely excited to start collecting these because once it's done, the spines will make like a black, blue, black, blue, black, blue. And I think that will look really cool. And I love that they have Ravenclaw in their true Ravenclaw colors and not the movie Ravenclaw colors. You Ravenclaws know what I mean. The next book is actually a book I've already hauled earlier in this video from Book of the Month. But I loved the UK cover so much that I got it off of Book Depository, and that is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. This UK cover is so beautiful. I just had to pick it up, and I don't regret that in a bit. The next one I got was The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton. This is an absolutely beautiful cover. It actually is like not only soft feel, but this is the actual cover of the book. There is no dust jacket, so kind of like the library binding is what they call it. It's a beautiful book. I will definitely keep this book. I love Leslie Walton when she wrote Ava Lavender. This one not so much. I gave it 2 stars, but it's pretty, and I'm gonna keep it. The next one I have is Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. This is basically a girl that is a witch and her best friend dies. She wants to find out what happened to her best friend. She thinks that she was murdered. Everybody else thinks that she was that she killed herself. So she raises her from the dead. But 2 other girls had also died, as they were calling it, like a suicide pact, around the same time, and she accidentally also resurrected them, and she didn't like them very much, and they didn't like her very much, and it's just fun ensues. They find out, they try to find out what happens. It's just a cute, witchy, almost contemporary magical realism kind of book. I don't know. It's good. I liked it. The next one is Neverworld Wait by Marisha Pessel. So this is the one that I had read that made me want to buy the other book by her that was in the haul earlier. But this is about a group of kids that are in an accident, and then they have to start reliving the same day over and over and over. But it's not a full day. It's like 12 hours and then like 10 hours and 8 hours, and there's things that they have to find out, things that they have to figure out. And it was really good. It was like magical realism, paranormal-ish, and it was really good. And the next one I have is Summer of Salt by Katrina Leno. This one is about, it's another witchy book that I read in September. It's about a girl that her sister starts to act weird, and she has to try to find out what's happening. There's also this bird that doesn't show up. It's just really good. Definitely check this out if you like witchy reads and atmospheric, small island, foggy reads. You know what I'm saying? Okay, the next one is My Lady's Choosing, and this one is by Kitty Curran and Larissa Zagers. So this one is like a choose your own adventure book, but in romance. I had actually bought this because originally there was talk to make this one of the book club books for the Smutty Book Club, Book Hangover Club, and it did not win. But I wanted to read it, so I picked it up, and I did read it, and I went through all of the different options you can possibly have, and it was a fun read. And there's like so many different ways. There's a couple, like there's a werewolf one, there's one where it's a female romance, there's one where it's like a Scottish, I mean, it's fun. It's definitely a quick, fun read. The next one I have is Goodbye Days by Jeff Setner. So earlier this year I had hauled The Serpent King and absolutely loved it. And so I went ahead and picked up Goodbye Days. Don't know what it's about, and I haven't read it, but I will because I like Jeff Setner. So the next one is Reaper at the Gates by Saba Tahir. This is the final, no, this is the 3rd book in the Ember and the Ashes like quartet, so it's 4. It's like a saga. It's 4. I have not gotten to this one yet because I'm a little bit afraid that I'll have to wait so long for the 4th one. But I love that series, so I definitely want to get to that one soon. The next book is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. This is a book, and it's big, but it's not just big, it's like heavy, it's like hefty. So this is a book about this like haunted house basically, and it's told in like some interesting formats. There are some pages that are marked out red. There's some pages that the way that the text is written tries to make you feel a certain way. Like it starts to get smaller when it makes you feel smaller. There's pages that there's just like a little bit at the bottom and at the top. It was really good. Our buddy read this with Julie and a couple other people earlier in the year, and it was really, really creepy, but surprisingly really good. I think I gave that 4 stars. The next book I have is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I have not read this yet. I know this is kind of like a Black Panther type story, to where a girl needs to take magic back to her people, and I've heard such good things about this, and I feel so bad that I haven't gotten to it yet, but I have not been in the mood for epic fantasy type books, and this is definitely more of an epic fantasy. So one of these days I will be back into those, and I will get to it, and I will probably love it just as much as everybody else. The next books I bought as a box set, but I threw the box away because I hate the boxes in most box sets, and that is the Six of Crows duology. So Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and it's the ones with the black and the red sprayed edges. Six of Crows is on my TBR this month, thank you Julie, and then Crooked Kingdom I'm sure will follow up pretty soon after. If not this month, the next month. The next one is the next book in the Strange the Dreamer series. I don't know if it's a duology or a trilogy, I'm honestly not sure, but it's Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I have not yet gotten to this. I just got this in the mail like 2 days ago, but this is definitely happening fairly soon. The next one I have is You by Caroline Kepnes. This is a pretty famous book, so you probably have heard of it. It's about a guy that is a stalker, and he talks in the second person, so he's like talking to you. It's creepy. It's okay. The next book I have is Sadie by Courtney Summers. This one is absolutely wonderful. This is my favorite book that I read last month, and this is about a girl whose sister goes missing, and she's on a mission to go find out what happened to her. And then the other half of the book, like spliced in with it, is a podcast about dead girls, which talks about Sadie and her sister, and about like you get more information as you're seeing what she's up to. You're getting more information about the death of her sister and things like that. So this is 100% 5 stars. It's wonderful. You should definitely read that. The next book I have is Toil and Trouble, 15 Tales of Women and Witchcraft. This is a short story collection. It has a lot of really great authors in here. It has Brandy Culver, Anna Marie McLemore. It has Jessica Spotswood, Nova Ren Suma, Robin Talley. It just has a lot of really great people, and I really want to get to this soon. Before I get to the next one, I actually have one book on ebook that I wanted to tell you about, and it is called Rolling in the Deep. This is a prequel to the next book that I'm going to show you. I bought this on Kindle. It's like a novella. It was really good. I gave it 4 stars. It is a prequel to Into the Drowning Deep by Myra Grant. This is both of these are Killer Mermaids. That's all you need to know. I'm reading it in October as a buddy read. You should definitely check that one out. The next one I have is All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bren Greenwood. This is one that I have put on my October TBR because Julie wanted me to read it, and I'm scared. I don't even really truly 100% know what it's about. I just know that it's gonna break my soul, apparently. I don't know. The next one is The Smell of Other People's Houses by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. This one is also on my October TBR. I bought this earlier in like the year, so I may or may not have already hauled this one. I'm not completely sure, but I don't think that I did. I believe that this takes place in Alaska, if I'm not mistaken. It's really short, and I love the cover. The next one I have is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. So I love Strange the Dreamer, and I definitely wanted to read the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, and thanks to Julie, it is on my October TBR. Don't know what it's about. Sorry about that. So the next one I have is Fury Born by Claire Legrand. She's the one that also wrote Saw Kill Girls that I showed you earlier. This one is on my October TBR, and I have been putting this one off because it is epic fantasy, but it's gonna get done this month. I'm assuming because of the cover that it's some kind of like court intrigue, which I like. It's fine. I got 2 more stacks, so let's just keep on going. So the next one I have is actually a duology. So the first one is Impulse by Ellen Hopkins. This is another, she tells story in prose. This is about a group of kids that have been put into rehab, and for different reasons, and it kind of goes, it's like something happens and they have to figure out what happened, and then it is followed up by Perfect by Ellen Hopkins, and this is the second book of that duology, which I have read Impulse. I have not yet read Perfect. Impulse was okay. It wasn't the best, but it was okay. The next one I have is The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. This is a witches small town fantasy realism goodness. It's great. It's about these these witches that were killed because of being accused of witchcraft, and now every year in the swan season, which is June 1st to June 30th, they come back and inhabit the bodies of teenage girls, and they kill boys. They like pull them into the ocean to their death. It's good. Trust me, it's great. I'm actually, if you want to read this with us, we're doing a buddy read. I'm doing a reread, but if you want a buddy, if you haven't read it yet, in October, I will leave the information linked down below, and definitely read this one. It's 100% one of the best witchy books that I've ever read. So then I finally did it. I picked up the trilogy. I have Every Heart a Doorway, Down Among the Sticks and Bones, and Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shauna McGuire. I did read these. I read these about 2 months ago. They were so good. The next book comes out in January, and I've already got it pre-ordered. I'm so excited. These are so beautiful. I absolutely love these covers. I love this story. It's about kids that, you know, like portal fantasies, so kids that go through portals into fantasies. Well, this is about what happens when they come back and they can't cope to being back in the real world. They go to this like school that tries to help them cope, and yeah, it's a great series. You should definitely read it. The next one I have is Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is the final book of the Illuminate trilogy. I actually bought this one online. I had it pre-ordered after I read Illuminate, and then I went to the signing, and Amy and Jay signed it for me, and they were wonderful. They were great. They were really cool people to hang out with. And this one is great. It was a good ending to the series. You should read that series, I'm just saying. Alright, the next one I have is Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. I loved Simon vs. Homo Sapiens Agenda, and I loved The Upside of Unrequited, so I got this. It was okay. I don't think it was as good as Simon and Upside, but it was good. I think I gave it 4 stars. So it was good. The next one is a Barnes & Noble special edition of Legendary, which is the second book in the Caraval trilogy, I believe. So this continues the story of the Caraval. This immediately follows it. They have started another game, and it's crazy, and it's told from the perspective of Tella. The last one was told in the perspective of Scarlet, and they are sisters. And this one was 100% like 10 times better than Caraval, and I loved Caraval, so I really loved this one. Unfortunately, this isn't one of the ones that are signed because they're a special edition, but there is a cool annotated chapter in the back that I actually really loved. The next one is Burned by Ellen Hopkins. So the rest of the books I have are actually all Ellen Hopkins. So once again, told in verse. This is a story about a girl that goes to live with her aunts in the wilds of Utah, I believe, and it's kind of her coming of age story, and it was okay. It wasn't my favorite Ellen Hopkins book, but I also have the sequel called Smoke by Ellen Hopkins, and I have not read this one yet, but once again it is told in prose, and this follows, her name was Patton, and it follows her storyline. I don't really know what else it's about. And then I recently picked up this set on Amazon. They had it on sale, and it has Crank, Glass, and Fallout, which is the trilogy. This is the trilogy that kind of made Ellen Hopkins famous, I guess. This is what people really started to notice her. Crank is about a girl that is hooked on some kind of drug, I think crank, so I think like crystal meth or something like that. I don't know drugs, guys. I don't do drugs, and I never have. But like, it's even got drugs like on the cover thing here. But I'm really excited, and she based it off of her daughter that had an addiction, so I'm really excited to get to this. Once again, this is one that I probably will end up throwing this box away or getting rid of it and just keeping the books itself, because it's unwieldy to try to carry this around and try to get books out of it. Wow, that's all the books. I think there could be more that I missed. It's possible. When you go as long as I have without filming a wrap up, or I'm sorry, without filming a book haul, and you just keep on buying them, this is what happens. Finally, that is all I have for you today. If you are still here and you've made it through this whole video, you deserve a reward. Leave a star in the comments down below if you made it all the way to the end. But until next time, have a great day wherever you are, and I love you. Bye.